Secrets. Everybody has them, but not everybody can keep them. Which is why I chose the quote, 3 may keep a secret if 2 of them are dead. So how many times have you told a friend a secret, and then you end up hearing someone else and like, oh dude, is this true, is this true? Yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody has. So I got three examples that can help back up this quote. My first one is, I have a treadmill, or had, I guess, in my garage. And me and 3 of my friends decided to go in there, turn it on, put our skateboard on there, and start trying to ride the treadmill on the skateboard. We were all going, and then I decided, hey, turn it up faster. So as I was going, I started getting speed wobbles and everything. And I went off the side, and the belt of the treadmill folded, so it just completely destroyed it. And I was like, we can't tell my parents, just tell them nothing happened. So then, 3 days later, my parents are like, Tyler, what happened to the treadmill? I'm like, well, I don't know. And they're like, don't lie, because we know you did it. And then come to find out, one of my friends that I was with ended up telling my parents. Another example, the Apple iPhone, big, huge secrets. And for the past 2, people have been given a prototype, and then they go to a bar, and they get messed up, and it ends up getting stolen. Like, how could you be so irresponsible with something so big, Just goes to show how people can't really keep a secret. One of the last examples I have is the Saints football team. Maybe you guys don't know about the Saints football, but they just got hit hard with a big suspension because they had a bounty out for, paying people to hit other players, take them out of the game. And obviously this had to come out by someone leaking the information, on something this big that leads to like a year suspension for the head coach or whatever. And yeah, 3 may keep a secret if 2 of them are dead. It's a really good quote for life. Thank you.
Well, I like the opening. You've got a point of view that you express pretty clearly. The thesis comes right out of the quote, and so it's straightforward. It's not really a preview, but it's clear that you've got an organizational structure that you're sticking to, and you present those points pretty well. I think that you maybe rush through the story a little bit. If you were telling the story to a group of friends, you'd probably elaborate a little bit more and have some more fun with it. All of the stories, not just the first one. And I think that you need to do that a little bit. You kind of need to relax and remember, this is, talking to people about something that is kind of an interesting example of this, and here's how I feel about it, how ridiculous it is. Who goes to a bar with a top secret project, and leaves it sitting on the bar while they get snockered, and then walks out and leaves the dumb thing there? If you were at the CIA, they'd shoot you for doing something like that. Let's face it, you've got this attitude about it that's right, but if you were telling the story, you wouldn't just tell it like it was a brief anecdote. You'd elaborate and have some fun with it. So you need to relax a bit and do those kinds of things while you're speaking. The presentation things, for the most part, are okay. There are a couple things that you need to be careful about. I think that you have a tendency to look down, even though you are energetic and your head is up. You aren't really engaging the audience most of the time. It feels like you're kind of looking in our direction and then looking down again to think about the next thing that you're going to talk about. And I think you want to be a little bit more engaged. It does feel a little bit like you kind of backed away from the audience. we've got all of this space over here, and there's like 4 feet between you and the first person there. You haven't gone quite up against the board there, but a little bit, and I think you could be a little bit more assertive there, stepping forward to make some points there. I think that would be a good idea. There weren't any big anxiety issues except maybe the feet and the eyes thing. That wasn't really a huge problem, but it's something to watch for. Like I've said with a lot of people, I think you're doing the right thing. I've made my point. I've been relatively clear about it. Let's move on. And I like the fact that you're coming back to the quote and reminding us what the point was that you were trying to make at the end of the speech. Thank you.